Matt Rhule is truly exceeding expectations on the field in Nebraska in his first full season, and recruits are taking notice. In this video, we're going to figure out what happened this week to get one of the best interior offensive linemen in America trending to the Huskers. We'll see if the Carter Nelson to Notre Dame rumors have any legs, and what Matt Rhule is trying to accomplish between now and National Signing Day in December. Nebraska fans, do me a favor right now. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. A lot of exciting developments are going down, and we want you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe for me, please. Okay, let's get it going and bring on Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline. And Sean, before we get to the big Grant Brix news, Carter Nelson, he's Nebraska's top-rated commitment in the 24 class, number 5 rated tight end in America. Now, he showed up at Notre Dame a few weeks ago for a visit. Should Nebraska fans be worried here?
I don't think so. Carter Nelson's been to all 5 of Nebraska's home games this year. So his dedication to be here on the sideline every week, he was getting a lot of pressure. There's an Omaha recruit committed to Notre Dame, Teddy Rizak at tight end. And I think the charge has kind of been led by him to get him out there. And they've done a good job. And the Notre Dame coaches have not backed down. But Nelson, is really, really close to the members of this Husker recruiting class. Quarterback Daniel Kaelin, to be particular. I know last week he stayed at his house over the weekend before the Husker game in Lincoln. They went to that volleyball game. There was the 1-2 Nebraska-Wisconsin volleyball game, and Carter Nelson and Daniel Kaelin were seen in the crowd holding up big Husker signs, getting the place going. So I think it looks good for the Huskers right now. Mm-hmm. But as you know, in recruiting, things can always change.
Yeah. And, the visit was a couple weeks ago. We didn't see a flip happen or a decommitment happen in the wake of it. So right now, I agree with you. As it stands today, I think Carter Nelson is safe on that Nebraska commit list. Okay, Grant Brix, the number 3 rated interior offensive lineman in the country, trending to Nebraska over the weekend, and that's because the Huskers made a big move. They've gone to the trick playbook when it comes to recruiting. On Friday, they parked their equipment 18-wheeler out in front of Brix's high school. So, Sean, after a move like this, do you think Nebraska is on the verge of closing this one out? Can they finally land Grant Brix and we can put this recruitment to bed?
Yeah, you've seen a lot of things over the years in recruiting, and it's rare to be surprised by a move. That one, I think, surprised everybody just by the engagement we saw on the tweets that we had at On3. And Grant Brix has taken such an interesting approach to his recruiting process. He went on all these trips over the summer, and then he did one more round of them in July where he went to Oklahoma, K-State, and Nebraska. And you thought, okay, he's going to make a decision. Well, he's really held strong and just stayed to the process. He did not take a trip all football season. And then out of the blue, he showed up to Lincoln on the sidelines. Just like Carter Nelson, Grant Brix is very close to a number of members in this recruiting class, including Carter Nelson at Nebraska, quarterback Daniel Kaelin. Those are some of the players he's closest with. And Logan Magnolia is pretty much Omaha. So it's right over the river. So it's a part of the Omaha media market. So they're as much Nebraska as they are Iowa, just based on where they're at in the state of Iowa. They get so much coverage in the state of Nebraska with their games and whatnot. So it makes a lot of sense for Grant Brix to go to Nebraska, the relationships he has. But again, he still has not made a timeline. I do, though, think after this weekend, the Huskers feel like they're in a good position with Grant Brix.
Right. But we've kind of been under like Grant Brix commit watch really since August. It seemed like the word is on his timeline any day now. And we're still kind of sitting in this any day now holding pattern. But do you think it matters if he does make it back to Norman? Because right now it feels like all the momentum's in Nebraska's corner. But if he makes it back to Norman, does that kind of change things?
It would. I think, they play again, though, this weekend in the playoffs. So it's going to be really tough for him this week to get out anywhere. Nebraska's on the road. Only a few weeks left in November to get places and get to a game. So, what's realistic right now in his personal schedule and time frame. But I think any time Grant Brix leaves Logan to go to a campus, that should get your attention. Oklahoma has put a lot of resource and effort in him, just as much as Nebraska. Kansas State's still in there too, but I think it's really those two teams battling back and forth. And Nebraska's got the graphic advantage of where they're located. I think over Oklahoma, and I think they've got the relationship advantage with his relationship in the current recruiting class and the number of players already at Nebraska that he already has correspondence with.
Well, we'll kind of put that to the side for now. Keep an eye on it. If he does show up to Norman, we'll deal with it then. But as it stands now, Grant Brix looks like he is trending heavily towards Nebraska. All right. As I said at the top, Nebraska has 26 commitments. So how many more is Matt Rhule really looking to take in this class versus how heavy do they want to go in the portal once the season ends?
Well, it's complicated because you're right. Their numbers don't really add up right now. I mean, when you look at the number at 26 versus what's leaving, but Matt Rhule has until really through the spring to utilize the head coach transition rule where they can almost force attrition and offer a player scholarship to stay at Nebraska and not count and not play football, or they can go in the portal. So they are going to be aggressive, I think, as they flip and build this roster for the future. This is the last cycle that you're allowed to kind of take advantage of that transitional rule they have in place. But I do think a quarterback is probably on the minds of a lot of folks, an offensive lineman, an edge rusher. But I think a lot of people in the country probably have an edge rusher / offensive tackle need, but Nebraska needs those players, man. I think those are the areas you look first. The quarterback discussion will get interesting though, because Heinrich Haarberg is winning, but he's still very limited. Jeff Sims, who was supposed to be the guy, is not playing at all. And you just wonder what his long-term future is here in Lincoln. So portal quarterback right now, I think does make a ton of sense as we move into December.
All right. Well, Sean Callahan from HuskerOnline, thank you for stopping by the Inside Scoop and talking a little Nebraska recruiting with us today.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.